Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tusk Talk with Time, Monday Night Lights live. Alongside me today, of course, as always, Tim Neal. Tim, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. It's been a great day.
Let me get this
That's quite
bad
a
boy.
cigar you got going there.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. This is a Dark Star.
Nice.
Dark Star. That's what I'm smoking. Shout out to they're not a sponsor, but whatever. Open Door Cigars in Fayetteville. Shout out to them. Really cool place, by the way. If you're into cigars, they've got an awesome lineup. A lot of good stuff in stock. So bought the Ken Hamlin cigars actually from there. The Arrivals, those bad boys. Smoke those.
I know you're trying to keep this publicly sponsored and everything, but maybe the right corner of the screen up there needs a cigar company.
The right corner of the screen. Oh,
yeah, I see Direct Service in the bottom left.
Direct Service, yeah.
All right, the cigar company in the upper right.
That's we do have some interesting news that broke yesterday with Brandon Marcello. I don't know the actual name of the podcast, but I'm going to play the video here. So shout out to him. I apologize. I don't have the actual podcast name, but you can go look it up on Twitter. Go follow Brandon Marcello. Here's what he had to say yesterday. And this, of course, is following the day after the Arkansas Memphis, the debacle of that awful quote unquote game.
A lot of reluctance about Bobby Petrino taking over as interim head coach if that opportunity came to be, if Sam Pittman was fired. I was told even at the time that Travis Williams, the defensive coordinator, would most likely be the interim coach. Fast forward to now, the weakness of that team is by far the defense. There's a lot more push for maybe Petrino should be the interim head coach. And I will tell you, from people I've spoken to, Bobby Petrino's been working them phones, baby. He's been talking a lot behind the scenes. He's positioning himself to take over the Arkansas football program, at least on an interim basis, if Sam Pittman's fired.
Okay. And we saw the name there. Hold on.
I'll say this.
It's on the bottom right-hand side there, or bottom corner. College Football Insiders. I think that is the actual name of the podcast. Okay. So hearing and seeing this, first thing I did was I reached out to everyone that I've mostly ever had contact with inside the Arkansas sports media world. And reading straight from my phone here, I will not say this person's name, but he's been in Arkansas media for a while, someone that I trust quite a bit. And I when you hear someone like that, when you hear Brandon Marcello say something like that, you immediately think like, okay, is this clout chasing? Not really. Not just because it's Brandon Marcello. Brandon Marcello is great. He is. I've met him once when he was in town for the, I think it was Arkansas, South Carolina. What was that? 22, I think. Really good guy. And I've definitely believe, like, when he says something, you listen, right? But you this isn't that. It's not like, okay, he's saying that because he's clout chasing. Not that you should assume that, but he works for CBS Sports. He has no reason to clout chase. There's no reason for that, right? But I still wanted to know, okay, is there, why are we hearing this, and why is it already public? So I reached out and to this individual, I said, what do you think of Marcello saying Petrino was making phone calls. And I won't read the rest of this. This is verbatim what he said. Brandon does not go out on a limb like that unless he is certain of it. So it sounds like the very thing that is, and I will admittedly, I'll admit it, it is absolutely within Bobby Petrino's wheelhouse. Like I told Patreon chat earlier today in a live show that I did on Patreon, it sounds like this is happening, that he is making phone calls, that he is, there's something going on here. It sounds like. Now, we also have to be clear. We don't know what he's talking about. It could be, I don't know, more input within the program. I don't know why you need a phone call over that, but that is certainly something that it's interesting to hear. And Marcelo's reporting it, and automatically you need to listen to what Marcelo says. But I wanted reinforcement. If I was going to talk about this on a Monday Night Lights live show, I wanted reinforcement, and I got it. Everyone said the same thing. Marcelo lives in the area and is extremely well plugged in to the athletic department in Fayetteville. So, with that being said, Tim, I want your thoughts, and I want chat's thoughts. People are asking if we're doing a call-in. I haven't decided if we're going to do a call-in. I don't know. So give me your thoughts.
I have a well-documented history of how I feel about Bobby Petrino. Won't surprise me if half the chat lights up over there and goes, he hates Bobby Petrino. I have to say, first of all, if this were true, I am excited about the possibility. This is one of the reasons today is a good day. I know that's blowing you away because I have a history of I'm the person who gave him the nickname Arkansas Jesus and said he's not here to save. But look, he's come in and done what he said he was going to do. But to your point exactly, this is in and there it is. He hates Bobby Petrino. I'm telling you, but this is something that I've said multiple times since he got the OC job. Is he is very much this is very much in his wheelhouse, all the way back to his Auburn days. He was busted going behind his head coach's back trying to get the job at Auburn. I think something happened at Louisville also. He just has a history of this kind of stuff, so it doesn't surprise me at all to hear this. No. At the same time, I'm like, please hand the keys to Bobby Petrino. I know everybody's thinking that's insane coming out of Tim's mouth, but look at the offense. The offense is putting the yards together. Things are happening.
Would you rather have Bobby?
No, I would rather have Bobby for sure. And I think one of the things that I've kind of heard and 100% agree with is when you look at the coaching staff we have, special teams is responsible for penalties or giving up a touchdown in every single game that we have played this season. We've either got special team penalties or they're giving up a punt return or there's something special teams messes up. I don't want Scott Fountain's hand anywhere else on this team. I don't want him touching the water boy. I want him.
Well, fired. He says T Will here though. He's asking.
I'm saying I don't want Scott Fountain doing that, and he's the associate head coach. I don't want T Will, whose defense has given up as many yards as Bobby. Like Bobby Petrino is trying to get 1,000 yards a game so that he can get more yards than T Will is going to give up. I mean, it's so bad. It's so bad. And so Bobby Petrino is the natural choice. It's the right way to go. I'm not even as much against him getting the head coaching job back again permanently. Like if you had asked me a year and a half ago what I thought about that, I was like, no, do not do it. But now I'm like, you know what? Let him have another chance. Give him some of that Jesus and Charlie Kirk grace, and let's see if he can't come in and revive this program.
Well, there's again, Brandon Marcelo. If you guys are just joining us, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I can already read Facebook. They're already going to be mad and they don't like the title. They won't bother to actually watch the live show. But again, this is from what I understand, this is like Brandon Marcelo, what he is saying. And again, I will tell you, you should, when Brandon Marcelo speaks about the program and things happening, the odds are very, very high that he is accurate on that information. So again, this is more about discussing that, talking about Petrino coming in as an interim capacity as an interim coach, not as the permanent head coach.
No, but I'm saying I'd be okay with that too.
No, I know you are. I'm just saying because I'm talking to the people who get, especially the
Sure.
boomers on Facebook who are going to come at us. But please actually watch the show, and maybe you'll you'll change your mind a little bit. But this is what we do know, and I think we'll all agree, even the old timers that won't watch this show. If you are an old timer, if you're a little bit up there in age, hey man, appreciate you for being here. Thank you.
I'm technically considered an old timer.
Not really. Come on now.
48 in 2 months.
We can all agree things are really bad. I don't think that, that's probably the most obvious comment of the world. I think what's frustrating about all this is that when there was no move made after the horrible season with Dan Enos at head coach, when there was no decision made then, this shouldn't really shock anybody. How you lost games last year, including Oklahoma State, or you could talk about the blowouts against Ole Miss and LSU, and only winning 6 regular season games, and to where we're at now. None of this should surprise anybody, period. We knew that then you needed to make the call. You needed to make the change. Well, he brings in Petrino, and that kind of quietens the crowd a little bit. And kudos to Pittman for bringing in Petrino. But, we're still here. It's still the same. It feels like a typical Pittman coach team. And at some point, we got to quit moving the bar. We got to quit, making up. Well, not that everyone's doing it, but there's certainly a few. And there used to be a couple of Discord and the Tusk Talk Discord that would do it, where they keep moving the goalposts for Pittman, making excuses. And it's like at some point, man, this has got to end. So, with all that being said, what happens after Notre Dame? Who we playing that following weekend?
We have a bye week, I think.
You got a bye week.
Yep.
So, and again, this was really the core of what this show is, what we're kind of diving into. If you get blown out by Notre Dame, now we're going to talk about Notre Dame on Wednesday. There's some things that stand out about that team, and not in a good way for Notre Dame. But it just feels like that doesn't matter, right? If it's a blowout, or even if it's just a regular old typical 1-score loss for Pittman, what are you doing then? And going into a bye week sounds like a pretty opportunistic time if you're going to make any kind of changes at all. Now that could just be maybe you finally pull the trigger on T-Will. And I said, I swore up and down. I went to Silver Dollar City yesterday with some friends and our families. And I said, something's going to happen. And if we don't hear about it today, we're going to hear about it tomorrow. Surely. They can't let this go. This can't be accepted. And you've got to put your foot down as the head coach. You did it with Dan Enos, even though it was too little too late a couple of years ago. But things are really bad. I mean, you can't tell me with the way the defense has performed against just, average opponents. Like Memphis is not a world beater program, even though with that weak schedule, they might go undefeated. But, look at their opponents, right? They're not world beaters, and they shouldn't be playoff contenders if they go undefeated. I'm sorry. Like, there's no one on that schedule that screams like, okay, there you go, they're a playoff contender because they won that game. But
I mean, they're saying that about Arkansas, and that's nonsense.
Well,
they're saying that Arkansas was if they beat Arkansas, then
that's got to
be a legitimizing game. That's not a legitimizing game to get them in the playoff. Sorry.
So and so back-to-back weeks, we've seen this. The defense, I've never seen a team give up the way that they gave up, and the way that Arkansas has given up. And we saw that a little bit last year, and it's still there. Like, to me, it's still like T-Will. There's no who has truly come into this system the last 3 years and developed into a great player. Now, Landon Jackson did get drafted in the 3rd round. I think a lot of that had to do with his size, his strength, and all the good things that he could do on a defensive line. He had a pretty good year last year. But I don't know. Like, I see a lot of issues. Like Deke Adams, is he under some pressure too? He should be. But you saw the way that game ended, where a backup quarterback walked his way 8 yards with Razorbacks clawing all over him.
Yeah.
And they couldn't bring him down. Sure, we could talk about the heat. Pittman talked about that today, and oh boy, here we go. We're going to talk about the heat. Like, really? This game was not in South Florida. You know, I know it was warm. I know it was hot. But you know what? It was hot here throughout fall camp. I mean, it wasn't hot like that, but I mean, it was. You deal with the heat index here, and the humidity here is for real. So I don't know. It's more excuses, and I don't know. A change needs to be made. I could see them playing this out all year long, and I think honestly, deep down, I think that's probably what's going to happen. They're going to let this play itself out, and you're going to fall to 3-9, 2-10. And just deal with it, you know, and then maybe we'll see what they do. But they're going to be forced, Tim. They're going to be forced to have to do something. There is no way in hell, no board of trustees, athletic director, or fans should put up with yet another 3 straight seasons of disappointment from Razorback football. It shouldn't come to this point. And that Memphis game, I don't care what the spread was. It felt like, and you and I agreed on this, it should never have been a game.
It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been. There was so much poor play on our defensive side. We left a lot of points. Well, we let a lot of points happen that never should have happened in the first place. It shouldn't have come down to a fumble. It's unfortunate that it did. So yeah. I know when you listen to Sam's press conference and he's like, well, we didn't lose by 100. You didn't have to lose by 100. You should have won by a lot more.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't have come. He's like, you know, we lost on 2 fumbles. You shouldn't have lost either game on 2 fumbles. Like that, the game should have never come down to one play. Neither one of them. Ole Miss shouldn't have come down to one play. Memphis definitely shouldn't have come down to one play.
Yeah.
Watching a backup quarterback carry the defensive line on his back like a soldier carrying guys, you know, across the front lines. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous seeing their starting quarterback. You know, he looked like he was a Harlem Globetrotter dodging people on the court. You know, it was ridiculous. I don't have other words for it.
Yeah.
Our defense looked silly. It looked JV out there.
Angel, what's going on, buddy? Why'd you kick me out of your Facebook group, bro? What happened? You got mad because I said we shouldn't play in Little Rock and you kicked me out of – I was the mod in that thing and he just booted me. He yeeted me out of that Facebook group because I talked shit about Little Rock, about playing in that stadium. I couldn't believe it. I feel betrayed. I hope you're doing well, though. I hope you're doing all right, Angel. And he's right. Listen, he you know, defense wins championships. That's not something we do here. Arkansas doesn't play. They don't play defense. And to be fair, like Barry Odom did have his struggles too. Remember, he would start off really strong, and then the second half of the season would just implode because they didn't have depth. Yep. Quality depth matters. That's been a saying on this live show for freaking years.
Yep.
NWA BS. Oh, okay. I saw that you didn't like people were talking about Little Rock. I'm sorry, fam. They got to quit playing there. I'm sorry you left Discord and booted me out of your Facebook, but
I will stand by what I said. Nobody who actually truly loves the Razorbacks wants them playing in Little Rock.
That's a good Lord. Don't need to be there. Hey, again, welcome everybody. If you're piling in here, make sure you hit the like button. Sharing is caring. Make sure you share the content. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you. Shout out, of course, to the Patreon supporters. Will is just sharing his card that he got. He got a Alex Collins autographed card, and he's sharing that in Discord. I'm so glad he got that in the mail because he was talking about how he was still waiting on it. So that's awesome that he got his card. If you're in our Discord, go look at it. Why don't you just go look at it? It's so pretty. So grats to Will. I forgot how he won that. He was a Patreon. That's right. It wasn't that's right. He was a Patreon winner for the month of August.
I think you need to put that Kerper comment on the screen.
Which one?
It's starting to happen more and more.
Which one?
The first 3 words are important. Tim is right.
Memphis should have won by 2 touchdowns. That one?
No, that's not Kerper.
Mark Stein. Oh my goodness. Oh, I see. He's calling candy ass Northwest Arkansas. I saw it, but someone deleted it, I guess. Man. We're sorry your stadium sucks.
Yeah, no kidding.
301 people. That's right. Get the likes up. Make sure you hit the like button. Sharing is caring. Bobby, offensive coordinator. Oh, here we go with the John Gruden talk. Bobby is offensive coordinator.
Lord.
Do you really think Gruden would keep Petrino? And do you think Petrino would want to be Gruden's OC? Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, honestly.
I
mean, here's the question for you. Is the Deion Sanders thing working out in Colorado?
It isn't this year, but they did win 9 last year.
Right.
And
it worked,
Colorado
it worked
was a
short term.
fire. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it worked short term. It brought a lot of hype to the school and a lot of hype to the team.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to be working the same this year. And it is the Gruden thing the same thing. He comes in, brings a lot of hype. And for a year, we get some recruits we probably wouldn't have gotten. And then it all starts to fall apart after that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not on the Gruden train fully. So just because of who he is.
Again, the only thing that I liked about Gruden was the possibility of a pipeline straight to Tampa. But like outside of that, I really don't know how I feel about it. Hey, here's some interesting numbers. Speaking of Pittman, I heard this. This was from Chuck and Bo. This was Bart Pullman who pulled this number up. So shout out to Chuck and Bo. And I realize they're not super popular around these parts, but I will give him credit when credit's due here. And this was good by Bart. Sam Pittman versus the turnover battle. He is 19-1 when winning the turnover battle. However, he's 4-20 when losing said turnover battle,
which always happens in 1-score games, apparently.
I mean, that is so bad. 4-20. Something else. I was doing a little doing some math today. I did it quickly, about 5 seconds before you joined the call, Tim. Arkansas in the first half. Listen to what they're doing in the first half. Against Alabama A&M, 31 points. Against Arkansas State, 35 points. Against Ole Miss, 28. Against Memphis, 28. That's 31 points on average scored in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Second half is a completely different story. 21 points against Alabama A&M in the second half. Okay, not bad. 21 in the following game against Arkansas State. 7 points in the second half against Ole Miss. 3 points against Ole Miss or against Memphis in the second half. 31 points on average is what you're scoring in the opening half, and just scoring 13 points in the second half total so far in the year. And that includes 2 crappy teams as far as, if you want to compare talent. And to be honest with you, Arkansas's got more talent than Memphis, and yet they only scored 3 points against them in the second half. So again, that's 31 points on average in the first half and just 13 in the second. So I hear the people who are like, wait a minute, but Petrino's offense has got a lot of blame this year. Either with the turnovers, the obvious pretty easy interceptions because Taylor Green looks like he's staring his receiver down. A defensive back, a high school defensive back can make that read and pick him off. And he's certainly thrown some pretty easy picks that could have been avoided. And then, the fumbles, of course. So they can't get out of their own way, especially in the second half. And again, that happened last year. It happened last year. Oklahoma State, you could certainly make a case. There's really only like one game against a decent opponent where you put up points, and that's because Arkansas, because Taylor Green subbed out at half, and that was Ole Miss when they put in Malachi. And Malachi against the second and third team Ole Miss team put up some good numbers, looked really good. But, he couldn't win the starting job at Purdue, but apparently had a pretty good game against Notre Dame.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that was Notre Dame. You might want to fact check me on that. But, yeah. So, I mean, there you go. There are issues, not just like Tim said. It's everywhere. It's special teams, it's defense, it's offense, and fans are just, frankly, I mean, they're tired of it. And eventually, you've got to hold Pittman's feet to the fire. I am a little bit surprised. Well, I say that I am, and I'm not surprised that they didn't make a move on Travis Williams. And like I said in Patreon chat earlier in Discord, like, at the end of the day, does Travis Williams deserve the right to be the defensive coordinator for the Hogs? Even if you make a change, and whether whoever that is, Woodson takes over or whatever, at the end of the day, that is his product on the field, and it sucks. For a third straight year, it sucks. Remember where they finished last year in the secondary. They're one of the worst secondaries in the country. and we're headed that way again. I think they're in the 70s right now with 4 games played. But right now, I mean, do you feel confident that they're going to make the right changes in the secondary, Tim? Because I don't.
No, and an interesting thing, people have been saying, you got to get past the redshirt game, got to get past the 4th game, so these guys can't just quit and redshirt and go play somewhere else. The thing is, the defense is so bad. Let them all quit. Let them redshirt. Let them move on. I don't care. The defense is that bad. If you're not going to stick out the season anyway and improve yourself, improve your game, improve your team, quit.
Yeah.
Fire T. Will. That one I don't care about so much.
Mm-hmm.
I do think you risk something bigger if Sam was fired before this game, but T. Will is a different situation, I think.
T. Will, and they will listen. There will be players because he is a player's coach, and it will have there will be. It's a watershed moment for the defense, and some guys, they just get attached to that guy that recruited them or brought them in out of the portal or whatever.
Sure.
T. Will's got those guys, especially some of the linebackers. So, I mean, at the very least, I thought they were going to make a move with T. Will. I really did. And then, Pittman comes out, we did this and that, and we're excited to play Notre Dame. And I'm just sitting here going, you've got to be kidding me.
For a team that I've ever seen in my life. Like, if I was sitting outside, I think I might, as the University of Arkansas, hire someone and say, you're not actually going to talk to our head coach because he sucks at talking to you. Yeah. We're going to have a figurehead in his place to talk to you and say the things that need to be said because he's an idiot. We're just real excited to play this Notre Dame team, and our guys.
I mean,
what do I do? What do I do? Tell me what to do. What do I do?
At the end of the day, that is who he's mostly always been. I mean, he was really excited when he took over. That is who he is. And I mean, we've seen the turn on the damn jukebox and all that. Like, that's great. That? Yeah.
Where's that?
Well, they're not
coming
winning.
To a press conference and be like, coming to a press conference and just be like, hey,
that's what you're saying.
You know what? Our guys messed up. You know what we're doing? We're taking them through video and saying, that's you lollygagging.
Yeah.
Do you want to play next week? You don't do this in the game again. Tell the press that, show some fire, but instead he's just like, well, we just got to address it with the guys, have a beer out on Lake Hamilton.
Someone in listen,
sunset.
Someone said in Discord listen again, I like Sam. I want him to be successful. It's pretty clear.
I want whoever to be successful.
Right. But especially someone like Sam. I don't know what it is. Maybe it may be the good old boy shucks in him. I can relate to that. Maybe. I don't know what it is. I've been around him a little bit when I, was able to go to practice, and, he seems like he is who he is. He's a good guy. But this comment, someone said, he should move down to Hot Springs, run for mayor, and then lose by single-digit votes. I'm not lying, dude. I about pissed my pants when I read that. I was dying.
Look,
but I mean that sounds kind of mean, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, yeah. Let me call in. Camo Gang says he wants to call in. I don't know if we're gonna do call-ins or not. We still have to.
He just doesn't seem to have any fire, and he never has. But today, he just looks like a battle-worn kind of soldier. Just like, I know you guys are going to ask me these questions.
Yes.
I don't want to answer, but I have to answer something. You're not going to get a rise out. It's like I'm determined to not give you a rise. I just have to get through this moment.
Yeah, it is. It's like he's going through the motions. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's why I really look, Marcelo. And again, if you're just joining us and if you're trying to figure out the purpose behind the thumbnail and the name of the show, Brandon Marcello, I was basically, he was just heavily supported in the people that I'm fortunate enough to talk with, that it is true that Petrino is fielding calls, or either he's making them or he's taking them, whatever. You kind of wonder, is there a plan in place already that they're just going to have to ride this wave, whether it be after Notre Dame? And that's not the only bye week either. They have, is it after Mississippi State?
They've got another one, coming up.
It's, I want to make sure I get that right. I think it's, because November 1st, they play Mississippi State. Okay, well, what then? If you're riding a hellacious losing streak, which, yes, is very likely right now, do you make the move then? So either you piss or get off the pot. I mean, you either do this now or maybe you let him lose some more games. We know the buyout has been a conversation about where he's at below 500 on his career and season. But the odds are very high right now that Arkansas will not win another game. That is a realistic possibility.
Yeah, man. I looked at the schedule after this and said, Notre Dame, that's a real possibility of a loss. I've seen some of the stuff that you saw over the weekend looking into that game. And, I mean, there's more of a chance than I probably thought for us to lose by a field goal. I thought we'd lose by 21, but now I'm thinking we might lose by one. Notre Dame.
Oh.
But after that, I started looking and I'm like, okay, well, Auburn's playing better. Mississippi State's playing better. Missouri's playing better. All of these 50-50 games, I had us on our win side, but they were 50-50. They're all shifted. All of them.
Every one of them.
Every single one of them. I don't have a single game that's not at least 50-50, and all of my 50-50s are losses at this point.
Right now, the only win that I have left. Now, again, I'm going to take another look at this. I have not updated my 50-50 list yet. I haven't done it. I mean, I went down and I kind of reevaluated in my head, but I haven't written it down or typed it out yet. Notre Dame is an interesting matchup, but at the end of the day, they have way more talent. But brother, they've got some issues. They are not a playoff caliber team as far as I'm concerned. They've got some, I mean, it is possible when they have the kind of depth that they have and the kind of talent that they could fix it. But boy, they've got some issues, and that makes you at least curious about the Fayetteville game, but it's an 11 a.m. freaking kickoff. Maybe it's going to be hot again. So that's going to count against you. Apparently there might be some heat, guys. So, that might play.
We want our guys to play in the sun. Hunter, can you build us a dome?
Oh man, get the temperature control going, baby. It's got to be. Listen, our guys don't play worth a shit unless it's about 68 degrees in here. Okay, we're not winning another game because of the heat. I still can't believe you said that. Goodness. If you haven't heard, Petrino or Pittman did say that today. He certainly put a little bit of blame on the heat. I mean, dude, you practice in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and this game was not played in Tampa. This game was not played in Miami, dead center of the summer, right? I mean, it's the end of September. Now, it was warm. It was 90 degrees, and I'm sure it was hot on the field, but
yeah, but that's not. I mean, come on.
Should be used to it, right? I mean, you practice in this type of weather to a degree. Unbiased Brim says, think big. Saban head coach. Bobby Petrino, offensive coordinator, Ed Orgeron, defensive coordinator.
Wow, Brim, I want some of what you're smoking tonight.
Brim's he's OG. He's a good guy. Brim's one of my favorites. Crash out.
Do a call in. Brim has to call in.
He has to call in. Yeah. The only bright spots on defense: Quincy and Neal and Lee. Three guys. Time for T. Will to go 3 years, and we still suck. Yeah. You're not wrong. I appreciate all the super chats tonight, by the way. Again, make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you know when we go live. When we have something to talk about, we will be live. There, I think tonight was a pretty interesting, something that needed to be talked about. What's up, Little Rock? 2517. What's going on? Don't forget to join Discord. Tusk Talk Discord. Patreon has been all over it. We already have. I know people are probably think it's a little early, but just in case, I like to get ahead of stuff. We do have a plain tracking Patreon page in Discord. $4 a month, man. That's all. It's Patreon. That's your entry fee. $4 a month, and you can have access to that page. We've got, we're doing that. We're going to be all over it because guess what? Everyone else will be. We might as well be out in front of it. We've also got the Portal Watch that's open. I haven't updated it yet this weekend. Right now, that's probably going to be a little. I mean, I'm going to stay on top of it. but there might be some bigger fish to fry. So, I'm going to keep up with the Portal Watch page for Patreon members, but obviously right now it's like we don't know what Arkansas is going to do as the year carries on. Facts. You should practice in the heat. They do practice indoors, but usually they were outside. I mean, my time when I was going to spring and fall camps, they would, if it was clear weather, no matter the heat, for the most part, I don't ever remember them going inside because of the heat. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. Those days kind of blend in together. Manny says, I would love it if Bobby took over the team, but I think we can slow down. I think we can slow down. All we really need is to get a defensive coordinator and fire Williams. So Manny, okay, Manny. So it's not as big of a deal. Is that what you're saying? Like the biggest change needs to just be the defensive coordinator. You don't think there needs to be a change at head coach? Well, I don't know. Little Rock was summoned after you slammed War Memorial. Oh man. Little Rock
walking into War Memorial, I feel like I'm going to get tetanus from something.
We're not going to be allowed in Little Rock, man. If we keep going, we're not going to be allowed. Remember when I was getting heat warning for warning people for sipping the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, yeah, and the same, because I said initially before the season started, my early prediction was 4-8, and people were like, "No, how could you, Bobby Petrino, year 2, and all this stuff." Yeah, Dustino, that's exactly. Remember when we were saying this team isn't as good as it appears? No, I'm with you.
I'll own it. Listen, I'll own it. I thought that the offense, the year 2 Petrino effect was going to be better. And to be fair, I think they're outscoring themselves. Taylor Green has outscored himself at this point by a pretty good margin. Like the offense is better, but there's still that whole fumbling and throwing picks. The turnover bug is still there. And the defense has gotten worse, which I didn't think was possible. And they're worse. And, and I think part of what happened on that last, that backup quarterback running to get the first down, or really just kind of a light jog, wasn't really that much of a struggle for him to get the first down and to ice the game. But I do think they were exhausted. They only substituted, and I think I checked this, and it was like 4 defensive tackles subbed the whole game. There's only 4 interior tackles that rotated in the game. Now, I might have looked at that wrong, and please correct me if I am wrong, but I was looking at that on the schedule on PFF, and they tell you the snap count, and it looked like there were only 4 defensive tackles. I
understand that, but sometimes it wasn't about the fact that they didn't get subbed. It was sometimes when they got subbed, like 3rd and goal. Cam Ball and Jaffrard both come out on 3rd and goal. The most important part of that drive, and both of them are walking off the field. I'm sorry, but you're a captain. You are not coming off the field on 3rd and goal.
So
that's what we did.
Cam Ball played 57 snaps. Now Julian Neal, I guess this was about every single snap. Julian Neal played 76 snaps. And actually cover grade was really good. Some reason his tackle grade isn't great, but he only missed 25% of his tackles. So I don't understand why his tackle grade is so bad. 47.3. Huh?
Because he's on our defense.
They're
giving him a little bit of the team tackling problem.
It might be, yeah. But 76, I think, is the cap amount of that's the most amount of snaps played. And again, Cam Ball played 57. Okay, where's the nose? Ian Jaffrard at nose played 37 snaps. And these could be wrong. Listen, the university has that somewhere. This could be wrong, so take it with a grain of salt. Danny Saili got 34, which is more than I thought. David Oakey got 23. And outside of that, that is it for the interior, for the and they played a little bit of forefront in this one, and they only rotated 4 players. So I wonder if some of that was exhaustion, if they were tired, especially with the offense not helping them out in the second half. I don't know. But I know one thing, Sorey has been mostly not good this year. I mean, my God, once again, he's 40% on missed tackles. He did collect a couple of hurries, but he's 40% on missed tackles. You had Justice Boone, 50% on missed tackles. Miguel Mitchell missed 60% of his attempted tackles.
Where was Dix?
Huh?
Where was Dix?
Dix, I think Dix actually ended up. Was Dix the one that did well? No, Bradley Shaw ended up doing really good. Bradley Shaw had a really good game, 81.5 defensive grade. Maybe Dix did have a bad game. Yeah, Dix was pretty rough. He had a 20% miss, but he only had 3 tackles in the game. So he missed 1 of 3, according to PFF.
And Sam was asked directly about Sorey today in his presser. He was asked, is it an injury? Is he not telling you that? And Sam was like, no, he's just not playing good. And we've got to talk to him and find out why he's not playing good and correct it. Like, what is going on with Sorey? He has 1 good game so far this season, and it's Arkansas State, so it's kind of a meaningless game.
Yeah.
But he said it's not injury related in any way.
So we had a deleted comment. Brian Hell, I doubt he's still in here, but Brian Hell says, don't know why this showed up in my feed 3 minutes into this dude is, I'm not going to repeat the words, something about Brandon Marcello. I'm out and blocking. Oh, no. Don't do that, Brian Hell. Don't do that.
So disappointed in Utah.
When a guy that's pretty well respected by local media and everyone I talk with says something like that, I reach out to those people and they said, listen, it's legit. We're going to talk about it, Brian Hell. God.
How dare you run off your biggest fan?
I know it. Darn it. He's going to block me too. God, what am I going to do? Ty, let's see. You was just hyping yourself up to good results when you knew you knew when we was trash when it counts. Well, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you really didn't. Again, I was the one who got crapped on for my take on how this season was going to go. You were pretty level-headed about the whole thing, and Travis was his normal 9-3 baby, 10-2.
Yeah.
You were pretty level-headed about it.
I mean, we all acknowledge that there could be, like,
Travis said 9-3, I think.
Every year when we do that, and of course I don't remember what I predicted last year. I really don't remember, but I'm sure I was wrong. I know I was wrong the year they won only 4 games. I really was shocked at how bad KJ Jefferson and Enos, that whole offense. I mean, that was crazy, but I don't know. I think the portal era has really made it difficult, but then, like, I don't know, Pittman is who he is. So maybe that's what we need to factor in more, when we think about this. If he's back next year, if it's true that they want to let him coach out until his contract ends, oh my God. Can you imagine keeping him if they go, 2-10, 3-9? Can you imagine keeping him?
It'll be an empty stadium.
Oh my God.
People won't even tune in on TV.
Yeah.
The TV ratings will be awful. We'll be getting 2 a.m. games. Don't put the Hogs on TV.
They're going to give us those Pacific time games. It is what it is. I do remember too, though, even when Arkansas was winning, even when Arkansas was 2-0, we were told we were still too negative. So, like, everyone's got their own take, and we put ours out there with our win-loss prediction. There were a lot of people who weren't as vocal when Arkansas before the season started, and they didn't get vocal till now. They waited until now. Very convenient. And then they call us out, when we're, putting our predictions out there so publicly. It is what it is. But I'll tell you this much. I got respect for Bo Mattingly and Chuck. I do. For Bo as a businessman and all that. I got respect for him. But we are not the Chuck and Bo show. We are not going to sit here and make excuses for this program. We're not going to do that.
No.
I was surprised. I don't know if you guys listen. I was curious what the call-ins would be like for Chuck this morning, for Chuck and Bo. And I listened to it, and the university has lost Chuck and Bo. Like even those two were like, this, you could tell. I mean, they both basically admitted that this
between Saturday afternoon and now, because Saturday afternoon they were still glazing the university on Saturday afternoon.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Monday.
I
Listen
sent you a text and said, "Hey, you need to keep this for Monday's show."
Yeah.
I was just like, "What in the world?" Because
Yeah.
they were still glazing the university as as any good propaganda machine should.
I mean, they are. They're an extension of the university. There's no doubt about that. But again, I at the end of the day, like it is just sports, and I do like, I think Bo, he's started Hogs Plus, right? And I think that's pretty cool as a business venture. He's quite the entrepreneur, and I got a lot of respect for that. But the show is I've got, again, it's got to be tough. Bart will chime in and give his take, and he's usually pretty reasonable with his takes. So, but yeah, it is definitely the propaganda wing of the University of Arkansas. But you know what? I would do the same thing if I was the University of Arkansas. I would want all the positive publicity that we can afford. I mean, at this point,
sure.
At least when basketball rolls around, it's like, okay, at least they're, you could be honest about basketball because it's great right now. It's good. But when it comes to football, bro, people are going to see it. They're going to call you out. I had no expectations going into this season, or going into the season. In the moment I put in an expectation to beat Memphis, they did the most hog thing possible.
Brim, your link is incoming.
Oh my gosh. Again, what would be more Razorback? The most Razorback thing to happen if they beat Notre Dame and Pittman somehow manages to get a couple more wins and he keeps his job. I mean, I know he still shouldn't, right? Because let's say you still only get 5 wins, you still should be gone. Absolutely. But it's like that Tennessee, Travis said that every year there's that one game that he wins that it keeps his ship afloat. Nothing would be more Razorback than Pittman finding a way to beat Notre Dame.
And not just beat them by one score. Beat them by 10 or something.
Yeah, 10,
where
13.
He can say, it wasn't just a fluke. We beat them by 10. We beat them by 2 touchdowns. What do you got to say now?
Yeah. Hero Blake says, "Don't say that, Ty." So now I'm jinxing Arkansas into winning the game. Now I'm jinxing them into winning the game. And
why don't you say more negative stuff before every game, Ty?
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm never going to root for Arkansas to lose. I will never do that. I'm not going to root for them to lose, although I understand why you would want to. And I'm not going to stand in your way if that's what you want. I'm going to tell you, you know what? To each their own. Yeah. I don't want them to lose. I don't know what kind of fan. I mean, I know someone's going to throw out the long-term argument. It's just like NFL teams losing to get the first pick in the NFL draft. But
ain't the season.
Tim B says, "Hey Ty, I think karma is still kicking our butt after the 4th and 25 Ole Miss game." Boy, I tell you, it's been one thing after another, hadn't it, since then? Ty, please don't say that. Means T. Will stays and Sam. No,
T. Will's gone.
I don't think there's.
I don't think there's any way he stays past this season.
I don't know how you justify keeping him. Christopher Cox, this is a good point. I thought we were deep at linebacker, as did I. And yet linebacker looks like a very challenged position right now.
And really, I mean, you've looked at the PFF numbers. It's not that linebacker looks so challenged altogether. Their run stopping numbers until this game were pretty good, weren't they? It was their coverage numbers that were bad.
The coverage numbers were bad. Yeah, the coverage numbers weren't very good. Dix had a really I think it was Steven Dix against Ole Miss, who just was
7
awful.
for 7 for over 100 yards.
I think that was right. Yeah, I mean, it was really bad. Yeah, this is probably the first game where everything was bad outside of Bradley Shaw. Bradley Shaw had 4 stops which don't make me get into the dynamics of what PFF considers a stop. It's really weird. It's not what you'd think it is. It's any play that results in a failure for the offense, yada, yada, yada. Go Google it. It's weird, but apparently it's good when you can rack those up. And he had 4 in a single game, along with a forced fumble. He was 100% on tackles. In other words, 0% on miss, although he only had 3. And he was not targeted once this week. Steven Dix was targeted. He was targeted twice, and he gave up nothing, which is a little surprising. And then Jordan Young got picked on a little bit. He gave up 2 catches off 5 targets for 46 yards. The biggest one, and this is the surprising thing, even though Julian Neal has been the most consistent player in that secondary, and he did have the pick. He had the pick, yeah. He gave up 40% of his, so he was targeted 5 times. He gave up 2 catches for 51 yards. So he gave up the most off receptions when targeted. So that is a little bit surprising, especially against this Memphis quarterback who was garbage.
I was going to say, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say these numbers aren't as bad as they actually should be. How many times did he miss wide open receivers? He overthrew them, particularly in the first half. He overthrew them consistently wide open.
Yeah.
The numbers should be so much worse than they are.
KL, this might be an ongoing. Sometimes you can't tell when they're bickering amongst themselves. So I don't know if Bobby P left our team ranked at number 5 in the country. Well, going into that 2012 season, they were like 13th preseason. I remember that. Of course, they fell very short of that with
boys, smile. Just
John L. If this whole Bobby is making calls things, what says Bobby doesn't throw the game?
I don't think Bobby's sitting there, and this is actually funny. I don't think Bobby's sitting there going, hey, Mike, you know what, you want me to be the head coach later? Why don't you fumble the ball?
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing that
happening. Hey, Brown, why don't you fumble the ball? Give it away. I'll be the head coach before the season's over with.
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah,
but it is kind of funny. It's kind of funny how everybody has a take. So, Rhett Lashley is undermining Sam Pittman. So is he sending some money up here to the players to
what happened to that, by the way?
And now it's Bobby Petrino's undermining Sam Pittman. I heard today Bobby Petrino, the reason Bobby Petrino is in the booth instead of down on the field is because he's trying to distance himself from Sam Pittman. He's trying to make sure that he is not in the same zip code as Sam Pittman on the field so that this doesn't fall back on him so he can take over as the coach. I heard that today.
Yeah.
That's the silliest thing. Like Bobby's so undermining Sam. It's not in his wheelhouse to go after the job, to see the writing on the wall and say, it's not out of his wheelhouse to see the writing on the wall and go to the administration and say, hey, if you're going to get rid of Sam, make me the coach. That's absolutely in his wheelhouse. But I don't see him undermining Sam with the players and the play calling. And I just don't see that happening.
This is a good one. You guys sitting around eating and farting, talking about real ballers. You heard that, man? I didn't think Chad heard that one. Man. Some people need to lighten up, though. I can't I won't even. I'm sure someone's gonna text me.
Real ballers.
How mad Facebook is over this. It's gonna be for real. The hate for Bobby is insane. Says Kerper. That's a Tusk Talk mod right there. Yeah, looks. No, it is absolutely something he would do.
Yeah,
is to call. But I'm not saying I'm not on board. I don't know that he's making the calls trying to, like you said, undermine Pittman. It's probably him getting the calls. If what Marcelo has said 100,000% accurate, again, when Marcelo says it, I'm going to believe it. So I could see it being the other way around where they're calling him, someone's calling him and asking about, what's the outlook? Maybe it was just simply about the offense for all we know. It might have not been about anything, but if it was about taking over, I don't know that. Look, who knows? And this is the part that gets it is something that he has had a reputation for. And there are people that do not like Bobby Petrino. And and there's one of them right there. I know this is the hate for Bobby is earned. And I could tell you, I've heard stuff, just that how much of an asshole he could be. I don't know. If you're winning, who cares, right? As long as he's being a decent human and he's not, I don't know. But
Chris Sullivan says what I don't actually believe, but what I said on Saturday, I think in our group chat, our group text, is they're betting against themselves and will be in trouble for gambling before the season's over. I don't actually believe that's happening, but man, sometimes when you lose games you shouldn't, you just feel like that has to be what's going on.
This is a good point. Crash Out, you got a good point about this.
1 of 5. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that yardage, the 51 yards, you would scratch that had the refs actually called that correctly. That should have been OPI 1,000%. So that is fair. And there's not much, that was kneel in coverage, right? I'm going to be real with you. I didn't this is the first game this year I didn't rewatch. I didn't rewatch it.
It was definitely Neil for sure, and he caught it right in the throat.
Yeah, I did see that, and I watched the replay, but I didn't actually go back and rewatch it, like I normally do on Sundays. Again, I was in SDC. I was in Silver Dollar City, had parent-teacher conferences this morning. I just have not had time. And I'm going to be real, I didn't want to watch that again. I really didn't. So I just made no effort to do it whatsoever to rewatch it. This is the first time, and I don't know how long I've done that.
I rewatched the first quarter and a half. And all I wanted to do was make just a little highlight video for you to put on here of all the defensive players getting run circles around. It was like watching a bullfight with the clowns running around trying to get the bull. That's what it looked. It looked like the clowns, and I was gonna make you a little highlight video to play on here, but then I just said, it's not
with the song, right? With the, what do they call it? The Benny something, right? It's someone's running around in circles looking like yeah. That would have been great. That would have been comedic gold. Again, thanks for being in here, everyone. Make sure you like and share and, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That way, when we go live. We didn't touch on – we haven't even gotten into Memphis and Arkansas. I don't – and I know people are wanting to call in. I guess we could throw a link out there. But, yeah. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a minute, Nick. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope all's good. Hope you're doing well. He's not, and he's pretty public about it. He does not like Bobby Petrino. He actually, well, I don't know. He could explain it in chat if he wants to. I won't put it out there unless he just wants to in chat. But here's Captain Bailey. We're cooked. I think I'll actually be angry if the stadium is packed on Saturday. Oh man. That's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Who cares? Says Bobby G. Who cares about what, man? What are you mad about? Benny Hill. That's it. Benny Hill. That's it. Lou Holtz coming to the Notre Dame game. Yeah, isn't that cool? I think that's pretty neat, man. I think that's pretty neat. He coached at both schools. Obviously had early success.
I don't know when I knew he was still alive.
Yeah, he's up there. I do miss it when he had when he did that show with was it Mark May?
Yeah,
I missed that. That was peak college football. Yeah, here he is. I worked there when he was there the first time. And when he came back, so many people took lateral jobs to get away from him, and I've heard that. Yeah. Ty,
90 years old, dude.
Is he that old? I knew he was
88.
Man, I was thinking early 80s. Ty, do you think it's unfair to Petrino if given the nod, prove himself with the defense at hand? Well, whatever they decide to do, yeah, I mean, you're in for an absolute gauntlet moving forward. And it's going to be a bad look no matter who. And that's the thing. Like, maybe that's why they don't move on from Sam if he does, in fact. And again, I believe at the end of the day, because Hunter Yurachek, I just don't have the confidence that he's going to do what he needs to do. And Pittman's going to stick it out throughout the rest of the year. Now, we'll see what happens the end of November into December. But anymore, man, I mean, you see what happened at UCLA, Virginia Tech, and I think there's one other school that's fired their head coach. Again, fact check me on that. I might be wrong, but getting out in front of it early does matter. And, so that might be part of this whole thing is they don't want to put the next guy up. Maybe that would be the reason why you would promote someone like Scott Fountain, right? You keep everyone in place. Yeah, we hate the special teams, and, I get it. It would be disastrous. I think it's going to be disastrous no matter who takes over as the interim head coach. Fountain his special teams are.
If Fountain takes over, it's John L. Smith all over again.
Well, I think it's going to be John L. Smith no matter who. I really do. The defense is that bad. The offense still makes, the same mistakes from a year ago. It doesn't appear like they've learned from anything from last season. They have turned the overall turnovers. I think the numbers are down a little bit compared to a year ago, and the offense is up. Now we've got this whole thing that we saw from a year ago, which is the second half blundering and not being able to score. I mean, we just went over those numbers a minute ago. Like, they are abysmal in the second half, and that has to change, man. You got to be able to do that for both halves. Yeah. Refer to my super chat about Scott Fountain for a good response. No, I'm with you. I mean, I just think it doesn't matter who they put there. I don't know if there's no easy answer here. I mean, there just isn't. Is putting Petrino in that position, making him look even worse, is that a good thing to do? I mean, I don't know.
Doesn't make him look worse I don't know that it does, that his offense continues to put up 500 yards a game. If the defense doesn't change because he's the interim head coach, I don't think that's a reflection on him at all.
That could be fair. Yeah, yeah. We know that the defense is absolutely, I put a video out before the season started. You can go watch it. It's an edited video where I pathed out a way for Petrino to be the head coach. I don't think, unless they strike out, if we're moving forward at this point, and I think most people agree it's over for Pittman. It's over. So what do you do next? Obviously, your first call is going to be to Rhett Lashley, I'm sure. If it wasn't, there'd be a lot of confusion given his connections here to Northwest Arkansas and to the university and so on and so forth. And then you move on. If he says no, and we know he just got an extension at SMU last year, and I know they're not off to a great start this year, but he would still be that first call, I'm sure. Then you move to option B. Then you move to, I don't know, John Gruden at option C or D, whatever. And you keep striking out, and Petrino is still there. Do you pass up on Petrino at that point? I mean, what are you doing? Are you going for another mid-major, another up-and-comer from a group of five school? Like, what is your next option? And I know people are going to bring up what Petrino did at Louisville his second time around, but he only had one bad year, and that was his last year there. And there was some off-the-field drama, if I recall, at Louisville. There always is with him, right? And then that's something else you have to consider. When he left, it was a house of cards. To be fair, it was unorthodox, being fired when he got fired and all that, and that certainly did not set you up for long-term success. But I don't know that there is an easy answer, and I don't know that I trust that Hunter Yurachek's going to make the right call here. And then that's the other question. Does Hunter, what do you do with your athletic director, and what do you do with your head coach? Are you going to do the same thing all over again where you're replacing them both seemingly at the same time? And we saw how that went last time. I don't know. It is a mess. I don't trust the AD.
Yeah.
Is that Paul? Lake Show, is that? I'm sure that's Paul. He doesn't comment much in here, so I don't know if that's him or not. I guess Trey Biddy was quoted. Someone's gonna have to help me out with this. I think he was quoted on his show. He had said something along the lines of being close to donors or knowing someone close to the donors, and had said, I don't want to misspeak, something about no more money until Pittman's gone. I don't want to misspeak on that. I don't know where that's. I don't know if he said that in a live show or a post game, maybe a walk and talk. But if that is also, and again, if Trey Biddy's another one, if he's saying it, I'm absolutely my ears. I'm listening. If Trey Biddy's saying it, man, there's just so much going on. There's so many moving parts to this, and you know, I encourage. I mean, listen, Trey Biddy does a fantastic job over at Hog Sports, so you know, go throw him support. I'm sure a lot of you already do. But I'm pretty sure he was, I guess, I don't know. I got a text message with that quote and I said, I don't know. Did he say that on a live? I don't know if I want to bring that up if he didn't say that on a live, but again, if Biddy's saying it, you need to listen. That's what I'll say. So there's, again, a very, very good chance here that, very high chance that Pittman, this is it. This is it. I think the Pittman experiment went on for 6 years. I think it's over. I mean, whether that happens during the season or whether that happens in December, I don't know. I firmly believe you need to make that move pretty quick, just because you're going to be in. I mean, look at what's going on at Florida. There's certainly going to be a coaching change there, I'm sure. You know, who knows about LSU? With now Kelly's buyout might. I don't know. I don't know their financial situation. I don't know what his buyout
at
looks
the
like.
beginning of the season, they were talking about this would be the last year for Brian Kelly.
I remember reading that too. Like that he could be on the hot seat if he can't make the playoffs or if they fall like 8-4 or have, you know, the ending to what, you know, some of the games, how they lost last year. If that keeps happening, they might move on. So, I mean, you're going to have some thick competition.
That said, he's 4-0, so it's kind of hard.
He is undefeated. Yeah, they are undefeated.
And of schedules, he doesn't exactly have the hardest. So,
well, it's going to be really interesting to see how this all comes about. You know, Roundtable says we don't want to enter a coaching search when SEC big dogs are also searching.
some truth to that.
I think that's gonna be the case no matter what. LSU actually takes football seriously. I mean, you know, yeah, that's the feeling here. That's how fans feel right now. That this athletic director, this athletic department doesn't take football seriously.
How about these coaches? How about these players? None of them. If we're getting into our comments on the Memphis game, my first comment is this is not a serious football team. There are a couple of serious players, but this is not a serious team, and these are not serious coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the very first thing I have to say about the Memphis game. One
of the donors, I can't name because of personal things, said that they are pulling their money until Sam or Hunter is gone or both. So it's true. It says crash out. Well, I mean, yeah. Arkansas will screw it up as always. It always happens with football. It's the feeling of hopelessness is just, I don't know, but it's pretty familiar territory. This isn't brand new to anybody. I mean, if you've been around long enough and you and I are close in age, like, I don't know, man. I mean, Jeff Long did some right things and he did a lot of wrong things. You know, Frank Broyles certainly, you know, there's a lot of questions about how he handled the Nolan Richardson stuff and, you know, and whether or not he hung on to Houston Nutt too long, which, you know what, his last 2 years, he at least won 18 games.
It's funny that you say that about the Nolan Richardson thing. I had flashbacks to that this weekend when Dabo got on the mic and was like,
yeah,
I guess they're tired of winning. If they're tired of winning, they can take my job. And I thought Nolan Richardson at one point said, if they want my job, they can have it tomorrow. And he was gone the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does Dabo still have a job? It isn't from winning this year.
They're not off to a great start. I thought their past years were worse than they were, and they weren't terrible, but by Clemson standards, they're not up to standards for Clemson.
Well, I think he said they've won the ACC 8 out of the last 10 years, and that was his point. Like 8 out of the last 10 years, we've won the ACC. Are you tired of winning? Because I feel like when you win the conference 8 times in 10 years, that's pretty good.
But yeah, this is their first year to face some serious adversity, and they're like, get him the hell out. And at Arkansas, it's like, yeah, let's give him 3 more years. Let's do that. To be
You get a
fair,
little bit spoiled when you win over and
Yeah.
over and over again.
to be fair, Dabo has had way more success than any coach at Arkansas. So I mean, it's not a fair comparison, but I mean, it's just like you could tell the schools that take the damn sport seriously, and Arkansas doesn't appear to be one of them. Now, we could talk about the financials, we could talk about all that stuff, but you know what? You know who probably doesn't outspend you and probably doesn't have the kind of revenue that you have? It's Memphis, and that's who you just lost to.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma State a year ago, I know they had T. Boone, I don't know, Jebediah, whatever his name is, Pickens at Oklahoma State, but he's been dead for a while. And Oklahoma State, I'm sure they have some great boosters there, but I don't know that they outspend you, and they beat you last year. So
not gonna lie, they had a horrible season and they beat you.
Oh God,
they had a coach
3-9
season and still beat you. And Memphis has no business beating you the same way Arkansas State had no business beating you.
Yeah.
So
Bot Magnet says we need a splash hire, brother. You are not kidding. There needs to be something to be excited about. Chad Morris, there were a lot of questions and red flags. Sam Pittman, there was obviously a lot of questions and red flags. The guy is pushing up in age, and he's never been a head coach. There's just not been. Brett Bielema was hyped. There's no doubt the success that he was having at Wisconsin. I mean, are you kidding me? 3 straight Rose Bowls. It's just now that we have the power, now that we have hindsight on our side, it's like, oh, well, that was a terrible hire. But at the time, oh my God, it was like, what? We actually just hired him after that year with John L. What? So they need something to be excited about.
He actually had like 3,000-yard backs on the same team, or 2,000-yard backs and a 700-yard back on the same team.
It felt like you were going back to that, right?
And like we were running back you, so it was like, bring him in.
Mm-hmm. And it is true that without NIL money, you're not going to win games. We fully acknowledge that. But again, you're losing to teams that don't have the kind of budget you have. So at the end of the day, what are we really talking about here? Notice
Sam didn't say that in his presser. Oh, NIL was the problem against, these guys get paid. He didn't. So he had to defer to something else. So he said the heat. The only heat that they had to worry about was his seat.
That's
the hot seat is the heat that had his guys not playing well Saturday, I guess, because it wasn't the stadium. I mean, 90 degrees, okay, but you practicing hotter than that.
Someone mentioned Alex Golish at South Florida. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He is a young upcoming coach. His record right now, I think, is pull that up. It's okay. It's 17-13. Damn, I didn't know this. This dude's from he's from Moscow. He grew up in the Soviet Union. Damn. This is Alex Golish, the head coach at South Florida. He's probably hard-nosed as hell. He was the offensive coordinator, tight ends coach for Tennessee. Oh, that name. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I had no idea this dude was – I knew he was younger. I didn't know he was from Russia. This bro knows all about them bread lines, son. He'll get this turned around. He knows all about that communist, that bullshit, not dealing with money. Hey, we ain't got money here. We'll make it work one way or another. He's got a pretty good, interesting background. Definitely worked with tight ends. Everywhere he went, he was a tight end coach. So I don't know. Maybe you can become tight end you.
Okay.
Arkansas has a culture problem, says Wyatt Robinson. Yeah. Culture of losing right now. It's, oh man, there's so many moving parts to this moving forward. Like if you do promote Bobby, does the offense take an even bigger step backwards? Because now he's got to focus on, the team responsibilities as opposed to just coaching the offense. I don't know. Again, I don't think that this happens even after Notre Dame, but I think it's if anything was going to happen, it would be after a blowout loss to Notre Dame, or like I said earlier, a close loss to Notre Dame. That would be a good time to do it.
I think it would make people more mad to lose by 3 again, lose by 7, lose by 1 to Notre Dame than to be blown out. I think we kind of expect it.
Yeah. We need a DC as a head coach. I mean, listen, whatever. I mean, they just, I don't care what you are. I don't care if you have experience with, clearly having an offensive line coach has done jack shit for the University of Arkansas. I mean, to be fair, their pass blocking is way up compared to a year ago. It's so much better, but now they're having issues with, especially in the inside, the interior part of the offensive line is struggling to get good push. Kittler did not have a good game. Kittler, and I'm going to pull this up here. No, I don't want rushing. I want blocking. Kittler, where did he finish? It was not good. His overall pass block grade was 48.2, giving up 2 hurries. And his run block grade was 55.3. And we saw it on the field. The guy just struggled to get push. Got blown up once. I mean, it just felt like the interior part of the offense. I mean, even Fernando Carmona did not grade well. It was Kobe Branham who got 68 offensive snaps, and Corey Robinson who graded out the 2 higher guys. Kobe Branham graded out at 86.9, giving up 0 sacks, 0 hits, 0 hurries. Corey Robinson did give up a hit, but other than that, not bad. And Marion Harris had a good game. I mean, good for him. Harris has been that guy like we've been waiting on for 3 years to get it figured out, and maybe he's, at least in this game, he played all right. He didn't give up any hurries or anything. He got 68 snaps also. But yeah, the interior part of the line has had some issues. Shaq McCroy apparently got in on a play. I didn't know that. I must have missed that. He has credit for a snap. So yeah, whatever they decide to do, I just, again, it goes back to having faith in the athletic director making the right call. And whether that's talking with Pittman about the staff. Remember, he talked about that at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, right? He said it. Like, he talked with the staff and had mentioned the defense. Yeah, what the hell was in that conversation?
Keep doing what you're doing, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job.
You're doing great. Angel says too much to clean up. There is a lot to clean up. You're not wrong, Angel. There's a lot. There's just so much. We need a coaching search board. Yeah, believe me, we're going to have it in Discord, Mark. If you're in there, if you're a Patreon member, you'll have access to it. It's going to be called the Who You Gonna Get board. We're bringing it back. That was our board. That's been our coaching search board off and on for the last 3 or so years. It's Who You Gonna Get. Ty, are you now thinking Hunter is staying? I never said that. Did I say that?
I didn't hear you say that.
I don't think I said that. No, I have no idea. Hog Blitz, I have no idea, man. Alan Ellis says it all depends on who we hire. A big name could be huge. We saw what happened with Cal with the Cal hire. We can do the same with football.
Yeah, who's the big splash coach for Utah?
God, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a difference in a big splash hire and a hire that's going to actually have success long term. Like John Gruden, I think would get NIL rocking and rolling. I really do. I think people would be excited about that because of his NFL background and the fact that he is a true quarterback coach and a guy that is, but he was overall outside of a Super Bowl win. I mean, what really did he accomplish in the NFL? And I might be missing something. I'm going to be real. I'm not the most hardcore, guy when it comes to Gruden, but I do think it would move the needle for people. I think it would be exciting. I just don't know if long term that it's a dramatic turnaround or anything. It might be another 4 years of mediocrity at best. I don't know. He's been away from the game for a bit.
Well, he's more known for his personality really than his coaching.
Exactly.
A lot of people feel like he won his Super Bowl off Tony Dungy's players.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be the concern for me is he all flash? Yes, it'd be a splash in NIL. Yes, it might be a splash in recruiting, but you see what Deion Sanders is doing. He's not having the same success now. And maybe
he's had one good year.
Maybe he's not as invested without his sons on the team, but I mean, I don't know.
And he did have the off season, right? Didn't he lose a toe in the off season or something? Or was that last year?
I don't know.
Yeah, he had some serious stuff going on. I know there's some questions about his health. So there's been a question about whether or not that's, and I hate to use this term, but if that's been a distraction. They are currently 2-2. They play in that Big 12 gauntlet, They lost to Houston on the road by 16. They played Georgia Tech pretty good, only lost to Tech by 7, 27-20. They've got BYU this week. And then they got at TC. This is pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Maybe I should take back my Big 12 hate. But he's got to play 25 ranked BYU at 24 ranked TCU. And then he gets Iowa State, who, by the way, barely escaped Arkansas State.
Yeah.
But they're 14th. And then after that, they got to go to Utah and so on and so forth. And then they end the season with Kansas State, who's currently 1-3. But yeah, man. It could be, and people keep comparing the two, I think, because Gruden and Dion were such public figures, but they come from two completely different backgrounds.
No, they do. The reason I make the comparison is the Dion was a higher, I think, even at Jacksonville State as a hype machine, more so than, oh my gosh, his coaching resume is so amazing, he's going to be the greatest coach of all time. He was a hype machine that brought, it's a gamble. Does it actually bring in NIL money? Does it actually bring in recruits you wouldn't normally get? And you would think it would. And I think in that way, they're probably the same.
Yeah.
I think Gruden is a hype machine. I'm not sure that I'm 100% sold on his coaching. He's not. And listen, Bill Belichick is struggling at UNC, but Bill Belichick came with a resume that said this guy's gonna win. Is Gruden the same thing? He's got a resume. It's not as sterling as Belichick's, and Belichick is struggling in college.
Yeah, that's probably the better comparison, honestly. I say that. Obviously, Belichick had way more success, but when you're talking about the background as just being known for being a coach. And Gruden was also known as a good commentator on the sport. There's no doubt that Gruden knows the damn game. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
But then there's the recruiting aspect of it, the portal, which maybe he's suited for the portal because it is a little bit more like free agency in the NFL. I don't know. I'm just not sold. I am sold that it would be a big push in NIL. I think there would be some excitement around it. The guy is exciting. I mean, just imagine him putting the hog hat on at the podium with all that energy that he has. The guy is in his early 60s, and he's got more energy than I do. I mean, tell me that wouldn't excite people. Cal's kind of the same way. Cal's the same way at the podium, where he just kind of pops off at the mouth and he's a little energetic, and he was 26 years old and juggling balls and all the stuff that he says at the podium, but he is also a personality. Yeah, I really thought after Kentucky, he was going to be a commentator. I thought he was going to go work for ESPN or SEC Network or something. But that's kind of what they haven't, But obviously, Cal also way more success with his craft in college basketball than Gruden was in the NFL with football. So
for sure,
I don't know if there is a splash hire that I look at right now that I see as long term, bringing you out of the muck success. The only guy to me that I could see maybe getting close is Rhett Lashley.
You think so?
I think Rhett could establish getting Arkansas to that kind of Houston nut level. And also, who knows, right? The game of college football is about to go through some even more changes. It looks like contracts are on the way. If I heard Mike Irwin right, that sounds more and more like a possibility. The game is about to go through some crazy changes, as it already has. I don't think it's going to get bigger than what we've seen the last few years with playoff expansion and the NIL and the portal. But, we're all this talk about leveling the playing field and everything. So who knows really? But Rhett, I feel like he has the recruiting. He's got the pipeline now right into Dallas-Fort Worth, which is the mecca. When Arkansas has success, that roster is loaded with kids from that part of Texas. It's loaded with kids from Louisiana, which I think he's done some recruiting in, either as a head coach at SMU or as an offensive coordinator. I'm pretty sure he has dipped into Louisiana. I could be wrong. And it's the SEC. He played here, even though it was a long time ago. He understands the Razorbacks. He gets the fan base. He's going to have his pulse and all that. You talk about wanting someone getting energetic on the sidelines. Look at how energetic that guy can get when his players mess up. It's like Bobby Petrino 2.0. He looks violent. I saw him get mad a couple of weeks ago, and he's energetic, man. And all the criticism of Pittman, or some of it, is he doesn't do that. Rhett does that. But I do think he could stabilize things. Again, I'm not saying you're going to the playoffs with Rhett, but I think he could maybe get you in position to where you start talking about that down the road. I don't know, man. I really don't think anybody knows, because again, the landscape is going to go through some more changes. So who knows how that affects Arkansas for better or for worse. I don't know. What about you? Who's your splash hire? Or do you have one?
I really don't have one at this point. I think some interesting people are out there. I think Fran Brown is out there, is doing a really good job with Syracuse. Obviously the Memphis coach is doing a good job. But I don't have one. I'm not look, I know Rhett Lashley. I don't claim to be a good close friend with him or anything, but I do know him. I don't know that that he's sitting here going, man, I just can't wait to get back to Arkansas, or that the thought of coming back to Arkansas drives him or excites him in any way. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But he falls under the Gus Malzahn tree, and Malzahn wasn't super excited to come back to Arkansas. He was super excited to use us for a paycheck.
That's very fair.
So I don't know. I don't know if I don't have a favorite right now, but I would say there for about 5 seconds, I got on the Gruden hype train listening to you talk about him, and I knew you were just stating the facts. And the more facts you stated, I was like, okay, maybe this would work. And then I've kind of backed off of that again. I'm not on that hype train. So what I do know is I'm interested in whether we play this season out or whether we get rid of our coach mid-season and try to give someone a chance to step in right away and make some changes. I guess currently right now I am on the Bobby Petrino's putting up a lot of offensive yards. He's doing a great job. I never saw myself saying that after the fake motorcycle incident where he got his ass beat by a different coach's boyfriend or something, and pretended a motorcycle accident happened, allegedly. But
allegedly,
I said allegedly. I did.
Okay, all right.
Allegedly. All that to be said, I never thought I'd ask for it, but right now, if we're going to put up over 500 yards a game, I want to see a different defensive coordinator, and I'm not against giving Bobby round 2.
Bobby, listen, how many times has Arkansas been anywhere near the top 6 in total defense, right? In any category. Bobby was a perfect fit for that reason. Like, he had Willie Robinson as a defensive coordinator. Like, you had one good year of defense under, maybe 2 under Bielema, but you can't beat them with good defense at Arkansas. It's just so rare. Bobby was all offense, and he knew he could get the most out of even 3 stars. It doesn't matter. Now, it helped when you were pumping out guys out of Warren and picking up Joe Adams and having those guys. It was fantastic, right? But he was the perfect fit for that reason. Okay, well, they're not going to have good defense. Who cares? We're going to score 35, 40 points a game and have over 400 yards of offense. Back then that was good. Over 400 yards of offense was really good back then.
Sure.
And so that's what Petrino, it was a perfect fit for that reason. And that's why when people say, well, we need to hire a defensive coordinator as a head coach. Okay, maybe, but I just I don't know that it's going to be what you think it is with the defense, because it's just I don't understand it. They are rarely good on defense. I want to point this out too. This is a
Go ahead.
Why not Texas Tech coach? Which is fascinating because McGuire grew up a Razorback fan.
Yeah.
Being from Texarkana, Texas.
Yeah, he made a big deal of that at the bowl game last year.
He did, and found that out going into the game. He does have a pretty decent record, but it also helps when you have a giant billionaire oil paycheck that's going through your program, and Texas Tech is not going to have to worry about the financial side of the game at all. And that makes it a little easier. And I don't know that Joey McGuire, listen, I don't see him being around there that much longer at Texas Tech, and not because of success, because eventually Texas Tech is going to wonder, if this guy can't get the job done, can't we do better with the kind of money we have? So I think eventually he might just be available anyways. Nothing against him. I think he's a good coach. He's got a pretty decent record down there. And he's got a great background into high school, into Texas, obviously being from that area and coaching down there as long as he has. Any coach that's got Texas ties, dude, if it's showing up and they're recruiting, you bet I'm going to look at them, because that to me, going back to your classic pipelines, going to Dallas Fort Worth, going into Louisiana, and wherever else, Mississippi. If you can splash in Florida or Georgia a little bit, that's fine. We know Pittman loves to go to those areas, but I like, and obviously you're going to take whoever you can get, but there's no doubt when you've had success, it's when you're riddled with Texas and Louisiana and a little bit of Arkansas and Mississippi talent. That's when you're at your best. And again, it's not like they don't have players from Texas on this roster. They absolutely do, and they always will. But look at how many players are from Louisiana. I think they have one, and they have completely abandoned that state. So I don't know. That's a coach that I'm definitely would, let's say they did hire Gruden, and if I had the power to get into his ear, I would cite exactly that. Like, I understand high school recruiting doesn't have the same impact that it did 10 years ago, or hell, even 5 years ago for that matter. But listen, if you can keep these kids, if you can sign them to 2-year deals, whatever, make sure they're from those classic Arkansas pipelines. That's where they've had success before in the past, and I think that's where you need to go in the future if we're talking about high school recruiting. Obviously, the transfer portal is different. You're going to take whatever's there and whoever's interested, but yeah, that would be a good start when you're looking at a new head coach for me.
Well, on that note, if we should hire a DC as a head coach, the thing is, you got Sam Pittman, who's a CEO head coach. So the DC's running the defense. Sam is not running the defense. Sam is not out there making the defensive calls and doing all of the different defensive things. He's letting Travis Williams do it. So putting a defensive coordinator in there as head coach would be no different than putting a defensive coordinator in there as defensive coordinator. If that's all you're going to do, then just fire Travis Williams and leave Sam Pittman there, because he's not affecting the defense in any way in the first place.
Yeah. Silverfield, I don't have any reservations against Silverfield. I mean, he's done really good at Memphis. It would not be, I don't think it'd be a big noodle. God, I'm getting tired. A big noodle pusher. I mean, I think long term he might have a little bit of success here. I don't know. He's done well at Memphis, and yeah, I don't know that he kicked our ass, but he did win the game. And let's not sit here and act like that obvious OPI didn't have some kind of impact on that damn game, because look what happened after. But yeah, I mean, true. Kyle Whittingham creates a storyline when we go to Utah next year. Whittingham's not leaving Utah. I don't think I think he's going to retire there if they let him. He's been there for a while. I'm going to double check that. He's been there since, this is his 21st season at Utah.
Oh wow.
I knew it was at least, yeah, okay. 20, he's 167 and 86. Yeah, I just don't ever, I remember looking into this a couple of years ago when people were bringing his name up after the disastrous Dan Enos year with Pittman. Whittingham's name kept coming up, and I remember thinking, I don't think that's ever going to happen, because he's not leaving Utah.
Yeah. Bobby G said Chad Morris sure worked out with his Texas ties. So I thought you might want to address Chad Morris, the recruiter, versus Chad Morris, the coach.
Exactly. Who said that? Bobby G. Is he hating?
Well, he just said Chad Morris sure worked out with his Texas ties, in response to you saying any coach from Texas with that pipeline would be good.
Yeah, I'm saying that's where you start. I didn't say that's my go-to.
But Chad Morris actually had decent players, if I remember right. I mean,
certainly did. And Pittman won with him.
He brought in, and Pittman won.
Yeah,
it's just that Chad Morris couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag.
He's a horrible coach, and he didn't have the resume either. So no, Chad Morris was never a splash hire. So, yeah, I said again. Was it Bobby G that said that?
Yeah.
I said that would be a good start, my friend.
Well, I mean, your point I think is still there.
Right.
A Texas coach with the Texas pipeline
Mm-hmm.
can help recruiting, and that was the point.
Yeah. If not Bobby P, then the program takes a step backwards.
I've seen that a couple of times. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't.
I don't know. Jericho Nelson's of the world, Nile Davis type guys. Yeah, Jericho's from Louisiana. Nile Davis was from Missouri City, Texas. Is that right?
I think so.
I think that's right.
Texas guy.
Trying to scroll through here, trying to point out. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys are commenting. I'm trying to get to the. We have a. Did I miss this one? Let's see. Hot take. This is from T Dub. What's up, T Dub? How you doing, man? Hot take. Sam or T will both will be gone after Saturday. Bobby Petrino will interim. A new AD will hire the next head coach. It will either be BP if he makes his case over 6 games, which again, you talk about the world being stacked against whoever's taking that job. Gus or Lashley will pour in.
Money will pour in.
Man.
Please get off the Gus bus. Those wheels popped. They fell off. The bus crashed, rolled over sideways down in a ravine.
He used the university, or his agent did, so many times to just get a boost in pay. It never worked out. And then we saw how it went with him being a head coach. You know, he just went on too long. Some guys now are just better fitted to be coordinators. Or maybe at a different, maybe a group of 5 school, maybe Gus could. I wouldn't trust Gus here. I mean, I could be wrong. And there are some things to be excited about with a Gus hire. There are some things to be excited about. But overall, I just would not be thrilled with that. Now again, Rhett, I'm on board with that. Yeah, that's right. Witt took over for Urban Meyer. Oh my God. Holy cow. That was so long ago. I forgot about Urban at
Urban
Utah.
Meyer was even there.
That's insane. That's golly, dude.
Someone else pointed out earlier, Urban Meyer has 5 Heisman Trophy winners under his coaching resume.
Does he?
That's what was pointed out here.
I don't think so. Only Tebow, and he doesn't have 5 Heismans, does he? Someone's got to help us out with that. Maybe you should look up AI.
Whoever put it in the chat, list out who they were.
Yeah, see. Now we're just going over all the names. Dan Lanning. Need someone who gets yes, John, yes. Although we had Bobby G tell us that that didn't work out, but yes, I'm sorry. That is the right start in the right direction. Know your roots to this program where you have had success before. And oh yeah, by the way, Texas only spits out the best high school talent anyways, and we're there now. I get it. Like, they haven't given up on Texas. I'm not saying that, but it's not. There's not the emphasis put on that part of recruiting like it once did. Now it's South Georgia, and he's going kind of further east because, of course, I get it. Those are kind of his backgrounds anyways, and a coach is always going to recruit to their pipelines. And Pittman certainly he brought on coaches from those areas. I get it, but like, I want the emphasis back the way it used to be, where Arkansas has had success, and Louisiana is. I mean, it's its own world with high school football also. Even though it doesn't have the population Texas does, they only spit out NFL talent like crazy in Louisiana. I mean, I don't know. Cliff Kingsbury. I've heard this name quite a bit. This is one that keeps getting brought up.
Is he still in the pros?
Kingsbury is a coordinator at hold on.
I think he was at Arizona Cardinals.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's a coordinator for the Commanders for Washington.
Yeah, I was thinking he went to the pros.
Yeah, he was at Arizona. He was the head coach at Arizona there for a little bit, which was always confusing because of how things ended with Texas Tech, and then he wound up with Arizona, and now he's with Washington. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He was a senior offensive analyst for USC in 23, and then then he joined the Commanders in 24. Yeah, Kingsbury has been. I mean, I don't know. Again, man, we're just gonna have to cross that bridge when we get to it. We could sit here and play the name game all night, and right now we're just gonna have to see where we end up. But first things first, there's got to be a change somewhere. And right now, I think the right start would be, that defensive coordinator for Arkansas. I just don't know how that guy. I don't know how they didn't make a change. But yeah, Charlie Strong, Tampa Bay defensive line coach. Okay, I thought he was still in the NFL. That was from Angel. Angel says that Charlie Strong's a Tampa Bay defensive line coach, and we know where he's from. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we have hit our. We're at an hour 40. Did not expect that. I did not realize we'd gone that long. I thought we were just creeping up on an hour 20 or hour 30.
Here you go. It was Mark W. Alex Smith at Utah. They didn't win the Heisman. He had Alex Smith at Utah, who placed 4th. Tebow won it. JT Barrett at Ohio State finished 5th.
Okay. Finalists.
So he's had finalists.
Okay. That's still impressive.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd love to see him repeat that kind of success if they did go after Urban. I don't know that Urban would want this job. The name that I haven't seen, I'm kind of surprised, and maybe someone said it and I missed it. It is Dan Mullen.
I saw it earlier.
Mullins would be he's already off to 4-0 with UNLV. I mean, Mullins is, I pointed this out yesterday. I posted his stats without his name and the schools that he coached at. And I was like, I don't know, man, this looks pretty good to me. With all the success that he had at Mississippi State. I mean, tell me Mullins wasn't tailor-made for a school like Mississippi State. And Arkansas is in a very similar boat right now. But it's different times, right? So I don't know how well he could do at an SEC school. I think he needs a couple of years to bake in the oven at UNLV. Let's see what he does there. Odom did really well at UNLV, and we see what he's doing at Purdue. Not that they're the same coach, and obviously Mullins has the offensive background that Odom was on the opposite side there as a defensive background guy. But yeah, again, we can keep throwing all these names out. I get it, and I hope some of you are right, because there are some of these names I'm like, yeah, I could get behind that. But I kind of would rather an offensive-minded guy and someone where you don't have to rely on your coordinators coming in and out. You know what I mean? As an offensive play caller, Pittman. Look what happened when Pittman hired when he lost Bryles and brought in Enos, right? And he got Petrino, which I think was the right step in the right direction. But if let's say they did turn the year around and Petrino hit the road, and you still had Pittman, would he go out and hire another Dan Enos type? What would he do? So I'd rather an offensive-minded coach who's got the background and you don't have to rely on the coordinators. Obviously, defense is one thing, but hey, by the way, is your garage door acting crazy? Call direct service overhead, the garage door company. If your garage door is squeaking, slamming, or just flat out refusing to open, don't be that guy and try to fix it with a hammer and some duct tape. Call these guys. They offer garage door repairs with broken springs, new door opener or new doors, openers, you name it. And the crazy part is they'll come out the same day, even late. Like when you get off work at 6 p.m. and your garage door decides to play dead, they're there. Real humans answer the phone, no robots. So yeah, direct service overhead. Raise the door, lower your stress. 501-244-3667 or book online at directserviceoverhead.com. So shout out to Travis Ford.
Yeah, we're waiting for a score on Travis's son's football game tonight. Hopefully will be a better score than the Arkansas-Memphis game.
We didn't do a call-in. Someone just DM'd me and said, why didn't you do a call-in? It's probably too late. I don't know if we want to do that. I know I'm getting pinged about the question of the day, too. I don't know that I don't think we're going to have one. Well, hold on. Yeah, we could do a question of the day. I think, let's see, what's the question of the day? Please don't come in here repping other. Don't do that, Pooh Bear. Come on, dude. Look at that, Pooh Bear. Listen, man, no offense to the other podcasters, but you don't come in talking about another show. Podcast, come on, dude. You can give a well, I'm not going to get into it.
If you're going to do that, have Ty on. Have Ty on the show.
Well, not even that. Like, ask permission. Pooh Bear's not a part of that show, but I don't know. That's something you ought to ask permission for, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, what is the question of the day? I honestly hadn't thought of one. I don't know. I guess who would you like to replace Sam Pittman? I guess. I don't know. I mean, that'll be the question of the day. Just screenshot it and send it to me in Discord. Make sure you tag me. Who would you like to replace Pittman? Who's the next head coach? Who's the long-term guy? Who's the splash guy? You tell me. Oh, I know. No disrespect to any other podcaster. I'm saying if anyone else just comes in here and talks about so-and-so's going live in 15 minutes, that's a dick move.
Right.
That's a dick move, man.
What, are you getting beat up for addressing it now?
No, they're just pointing out that Mo. Oh yeah, Mo's. Yeah. They do good stuff, man. Hit the like button on your way out. So there you go. There's your XP question of the day. That's what it is. Just who's the hire that excites you, Tim? I appreciate you, man, taking a little time out of your night as always on Monday nights. I will for sure be back on Wednesday to talk about Arkansas and Notre Dame. You know, I might say some things that you may or may not agree with, some things that might surprise you a little bit when it comes to Notre Dame as far as the matchup between the two. I did see the spread was crazy low, and I think it's probably going to rise. I think right now it's 5.5 points?
Something like that, yeah. I have some thoughts on it too. We didn't really get into this Memphis game, so
we really didn't. We went all in on the coaching stuff for sure.
So on Wednesday, I'll probably talk about that a little bit in relation to this Notre Dame game as well.
The spread right now, it opened up at 6.5, and it actually went the opposite direction. It's now at 4.5 between Arkansas and Notre Dame. That tells
you what you've been reading about Notre Dame is kind of true.
There's some things there that's like, oh, I get it. Because I saw that spread and I was like, wait, what? So I immediately started doing some homework on Notre Dame.
Yeah, same.
So, all right. Well, I do appreciate you guys. All the love in the world for the other Razorback shows, by the way. I have all the love in the world. I've been on several of them. Appreciate everything they do. It's definitely some talented individuals out there. But yeah, it'd be the same thing for me. I wouldn't want you going into Trey Biddy's show going, Ty's going to be live in 10 minutes. Don't do that.
Well, now I'm doing it for sure.
Oh, no. See, I just opened up.
Inside Arkansas, I'm going to that one too. I'm just going to be like, Tusk Talk with Ty's going live. Skip these guys.
All right, everybody. You guys have a good night. We will be back on Wednesday. Go Hogs.
Go Hogs.